In 2007, BMW discontinued its single-cylinder adventure bike, the F650GS Dakar.
And there was much outcry.
Now though, it's been reincarnated with a few minor updates as the BMW G650GS Sertao. So there's a modern BMW look, a new instrument cluster, and a much improved headlight.
The word Sertao, well, that refers to northern Brazilian badlands, or is Portuguese for backcountry.
So the name is essentially meaningless in North America, which is actually a good thing, because this bike never should have labored under the name Dakar, which refers to the legendary rally.
Or as I like to think of it, a 14-day injury fest, with compound fractures distributed liberally amongst all its entrants.
Which is a tad ambitious for this bike, though it is more overtly off-roady than the base G650GS. Rugged spoked wheels replace cast alloy rims, while a 21-inch front tire improves the bike's off-road handling and ability to clear obstacles. Suspension travel is longer by 40mm, giving the Sertao 211mm front and rear.
And that means the Sertao is tall. Your derriere is 860mm off the ground. So it's not a bike for the little folks.
So it should be comfortable for a 6'2" oaf like myself. Except it's not.
As the angle between your foot pegs, your knee, and your hip is actually quite tight.
At its core, the Sertao shares the same running gear as the G650GS, including the liquid-cooled 652cc single-cylinder engine, which implacably chuffs out 48 horsepower and 44 foot-pounds of torque.
It's like the little engine that could.
What you might like more is the fuel economy.
We've been getting about 300 kilometers out of the 14-liter tank before the fuel light comes on. So here, the name backcountry fits. That's a lot of exploration.
Still, while the fueling's precise, the engine doesn't offer much snap. So, more guts would be nice. Except, there's another consideration.
Any more power in the Sertao would show up its shortcomings in a big way on road. Near 120 kilometers an hour, the suspension leaves the bike very prone to wobble. The same goes for something modern, like giving the smooth shifting gearbox a 6th ratio.
Likely though, you're not buying the thumper for its highway prowess. So it's off-road where the Sertao should shine.
And it does, to a degree.
No, the Sertao is not a dirt bike, but the softly sprung suspension smooths out potholes and gravel well, hooks up with washboard, and predictably chews through its preferred domain, the Forest Service Road. As the terrain gets more technical, however, the Sertao is pushed out of its comfort zone. The unadjustable 41mm front forks tend to pop and bounce.
Last time you saw sticks like these, they were marked Pogo on the shelves of Toys R Us.
That said, Old Wobbly will dependably churn through most terrain an adventure rider is likely to encounter, though those tight ergonomics make standing on the pegs difficult.
Before you get too serious about anything off-road with the Sertao, there's a couple things I'd recommend you do.
As insurance against opening up your Sertao's innards in a fall, I'd be popping off to an accessory company like Twisted Throttle and picking up a properly sturdy bash plate, drop guards to protect the Sertao's soft and vulnerable flanks, because in the game of off-road, rock beats hoses. Then there's the narrow and easy to slip off of foot pegs.
Well, you'll be wanting to replace those with something more dirt-esque.
All this ignores the Sertao's real vulnerability, the decidedly budget suspension.
And that's a disappointment, because for a base price of 9,750 Canadian, you really don't expect to have to shell out another 1,500 in suspension upgrades.
Where the Sertao beats out its cheaper competition is in safety nets, like BMW's 36-month unlimited mileage warranty and roadside assistance, better build quality and resale value, and features like stock ABS, which we'd recommend you deactivate before any off-road descents. So what do we have here?
A bike that is the Dakar by any other name, except for the one that costs a fortune to license.
Which is a missed opportunity for BMW to enhance the bike's suspension and transform the dependable trundle through the rough stuff Dakar into an enthusiastic single-cylinder world-conquering adventure bike. that the G650GS Sertao could have been.